Renaissance unity, in that we know all is well and all is in divine order. Are you encouraged this morning? Are you encouraged this morning? Why don't we just lift our bodies up? All right, you already beat me to it. But I'm excited this morning. And I was reading a story last night about 1:30 in the morning. And they were talking about going into the promised land and how they sent 12 spies to look over yonder. 10 came back and said, there's no way that we can make it. It's too hard, it's too difficult, it's too much chaos, it's confusion. But 2 looked at each other, gathered their thoughts, and became one and said, we can conquer the unconquerable. We can do the unthinkable. So I want to know, are you one of those 2? Can we join together this morning and move into that place of promise, that place of destiny that we're supposed to be? Beyond the chaos, confusion, we move into calm today. Anybody want calmness? I'm encouraged then. Daisy, I'm feeling good.
As I minister to you, or I minister to myself, and life can hurt you so till you feel there's nothing left. Oh, no matter how you feel, speak the word, and you will be healed. You will be healed. Speak over yourself. Speak over yourself. Speak over yourself. I believe everything the Lord said about me. Yourself. I believe that my eyes into the hills. Yeah, I'm more than a conqueror. I'm encouraged. Oh, yeah. I'm encouraged. I will lift up mine eyes. Whoa, I'm
Thank you. Now, while you're standing, just want you to repeat after me. When chaos escalates, I elevate. When chaos escalates, I elevate. Can we do an affirmation? Since we're already standing, but can we do it? Can we do it with high energy? Repeat after me. I am centered in divine order. My mind is clear. My heart is assured. And my spirit is fueled by faith. I rise above chaos, walking in peace, power, and purpose. And so it is. Amen. I want you to just look at somebody and just shout at them. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. You may be seated. Hold that thought. Hold the thought that I want to think when I think the things that I think. Y'all got that? You got to look at the recording. But what I want you to think about is the thought that you want to think. When you think the thoughts that you think. And hold that thought. Hold it. Thoughts held in mind. Thoughts held in mind. And so last week, I felt something in the room. As I talked about the conflict, the confusion, the chaos of the world. And last Sunday, I talked about chaos and what chaos stood for as an acronym. Chaos, meaning conflict, hesitation, anxiety, obstacles, and self-doubt. Remember that? Take notes. Take notes. Because what we're doing in this community is that we're teaching. We're not hooping and hollering. We're teaching. Because you need something tangible that you can use, tools for living. And so with that, I talked about chaos. And I said that 96% of people spend the majority of their life in chaos. One of these spaces, we spend the majority of our life. Either we're in conflict, we're hesitating, we're anxiety, we face obstacles, or we have self-doubt. Anybody experience that with me? On a daily basis. And that's true. We find ourselves in these situations sometimes, no doing of our own, but we find ourselves in the midst of conflict, hesitation, anxiety, obstacles, and self-doubt. And sometimes it becomes a way of life. We think it's second nature to be in chaos, confused about life and this thing that we call life. Are we supposed to live in chaos? And we know this, right? But we engage in it. So let me ask you, what pulls you into chaos? What is the thought that pulls you into chaos? With good intentions every morning, after you wait, after you meditate, after you pray, what do you allow in your space that pulls you into chaos? But today, the whole idea is that we're going to declare it, claim it, live it, calmness. Can we just say calm? Now, can you say it with a little bit of air, a little bit of breeze in it? God. Just blow it out with me. God. Leah likes that, so let's do it one more time. God. You feel that serenity, that peace, when you just call a timeout. Sometimes in the middle of a game, when it's chaotic, nothing's going right. You know, Brett, you've coached before. Many of us have played the games, and nothing's going right. Our strategy's not working, and we just say, timeout. Why not call a timeout in our own life and say, everything is chaotic. I need a timeout. Give me a TO, baby, as Dick Vitale would say. So TO. And sometimes we need that at the pace of society in a way that it just pulls us into this magnetic field, this magnetic force, this energy force that just keeps pulling us more and more into chaos, confusion, conflict. And then because we've seen it so often, we begin to doubt our own existence. That self-doubt comes into play, and we begin to hesitate about doing everything. Anybody here an overthinker? Anybody in your head so much trying to figure out, solve, decipher what's the next move? And that hesitation leads to procrastination. Anybody can relate with me on that? Now, I can't say I'm innocent in all this because I come from a space of reference from personal experiences. So when I say I'm in my head too often and that hesitation leads to procrastination, I know if I can remove that barrier of thought, negative thought, stinking thinking, I could accomplish more on the life journey. Are you still with me? You understand where I'm going? And so it's like the experience of living life, and all of a sudden, you see this entry point into chaos. It's kind of like a entrance ramp. You ever see one of those on-ramps? And you see what's down below, but you onboarding on the on-ramp. What do we know about that on-ramp? The on-ramp has a slope to it. And that slope is downward, right? It's downward. And so when you go into this chaotic spiral, you begin to go downward. And you're on board on this on-ramp, and all of a sudden you find yourself in chaos. And all of a sudden you realize on this freeway, this pathway to chaos, it's going at a faster pace than before you got on this pathway. You ever experienced that? All of a sudden you realize I'm going into a chaotic environment, so I need to speed up. What do they teach us in driver's training? Before you get into the chaos, speed up. They don't call it chaos, they say before you get into the traffic. But the traffic is chaos. And so there you are, all alone, driving along, and you see these signs. Chaos ahead. You're just driving. Chaos ahead. So what do? When the sign before you says chaos ahead? Somebody said speed up. To join the chaos, even more, go deeply embedded. I want to be deeply embedded in chaos, confusion. Look for the off-ramp. And that could be the case. But how many times do we get in those situations where we're intending to go somewhere, but we get sidetracked? Anybody ever been sidetracked before? Raise your hand if you ever been sidetracked. It's like the other day, Leah gave me a mission, an assignment. Leah said, I need you to go to Myers and get some pancake mix and some milk. That was the assignment. That was the assignment. I went into Myers, happy-go-lucky. I'm on assignment because we got a baby at the house and the baby needs to eat and the baby likes pancakes, and so I'm on the mission. I go into the store, wham! I'm hit with this beautiful display of fruit. Paul, I began to taste the sweet grapes. So I put some in the basket. Then I was distracted, and I said, ooh, look at those cherries. Oh, cherries are good for inflammation. I better get some. So then I went around, and I saw some potato chips. I said, well, I know Leah likes potato chips and some hummus in the refrigerator. I better get it back. But hold on. Buy one. Got to get the two, right? Wouldn't I be a fool not to get the two? Put them in the basket. Then went around near the cash register. What did I see? Candy bars. Got a baby in the house. Baby likes chocolate. Got to put them in the basket, right? I'm like, boy, I'm rolling now. So I go and I self-check out. I get to the car. I don't have the pancake mix and the almond milk. We get distracted. In the chaos of it all, we get distracted. Anybody like me? Am I the only one that's get sidetracked? And there's other times in life where we're in these situations and we just get what? Sidetracked. Sidetracked. I realized I forgot what the mission was all about. That's what I forgot in this whole scenario. So when we're in that situation where we're in chaos, we do need to look for that exit ramp. Because what do we know about that exit ramp that's different from that on-ramp? The slope is different. So as I exit, I begin to what? Incline. And when I'm inclined, I tend to elevate. And when I elevate, I tend to rise up. And when I rise up, I move away from the chaos, the confusion. Is that right? So we got to know when to say, time to get off. But we have a hard time moving away from that chaos into the calm. But the exit ramp leads us to calm. Now, calm stands for what? What does calm stand for this morning? Clarity, assurance, love, and motivation. Now, can we say that together? Clarity, assurance, love, motivation. One more time for the people who are not here today. Ha! Clarity, seeing things clearly, cutting through the confusion and the doubt. Seeing things clearly as though they really are. So many times things are an illusion. Things, even close to us, seem like danger and harm. Clarity. Can everybody say, I need clarity? We also need assurance, right? Assurance. What is assurance? A deep trust that we are guided by what? Divine order. A deep trust. So many of us have been tainted by life experiences that we find it very difficult to do what? Trust. But to move forward in life, trust is you've heard it before. Trust is a must, but if you don't have trust, it's a problem. Then the basis for our whole spiritual community is what? It's love. A foundation of love. We were put here in a spirit of love. We're supposed to be angels of love. And so we're saying love, the greatest force connecting us to each other and God. And where is God? In us, through us, and as us. And then the last one is motivation. Motivation, the drive that propels us forward toward our divine purpose. I told you before, Leah had me on assignment. And I lost focus on the assignment, the mission. And because I wasn't able to keep focused, I lost focus of the motive. Motivation requires a motive. There's a key word in there. When we look at that word and we say motivation, it's the activation of your motive. You see it in that word? You see those two words in one word, activation, motive. Do y'all see it? You got to see it, because you can't say I'm motivated if you don't understand that motivation comes to activation of motive. Motive is your purpose. Knowing that spiritual purpose that you're here for is very important. Because if you lose sight of your motive, you lose sight of mission. So how do we change this? How do we change this? How do we move into this place of clarity over confusion, assurance over doubt, love over fear, and motivation over hesitation? Can y'all say that with me? How do I move? Reverend Glenn. How do I move to choose clarity over confusion, assurance over doubt, love over fear, and motivation over hesitation? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad each and every one of you asked that question. Because this is the place where we find peace when we move from chaos to calm. Colossians 3:15 tells us what? Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body, you were called to what? And be thankful for that peace, right? So what does that all mean? Well, I think I saw something in A Course in Miracles, lesson number 34, that kind of ties it up. And it just simply says, in the Course in Miracles, lesson 34 is right there, and it says something very simple. I could see peace instead of this. He said, that's real life. Spoken from the mouth of a baby. Course in Miracles, I could see peace instead of this. What does that say? What does it say? I could see peace instead of this. And so the question is, what are you seeing? What are you seeing that's chaos, that's confusing you, that's making you hesitate, that's making you self-doubtful? What are you seeing? Because it says, I could see peace instead of what I'm seeing. So whatever kind of way you're feeling, if it's not consistent with calm and peace, you need to see it a different way, right? It's a choice, right? Do you believe you have a choice? Do you really believe it? That you have a choice to see it a different way, from a different angle, a different perspective, a different view? I can just tilt it just a little bit and see it a different way. You ever tried that before? You look at something from different angles and it looks different? I always do that. When I'm in the mirror, I turn to the side and I look slimmer. Waist looks slimmer too. I'm like, yeah. So now I don't even bother turning to the front. I just always go to the side. Now I just spin around. Because I want the best angle possible that brings about peace and calmness. Y'all know what I'm saying? And that's what this is all about. There is always an off ramp that leads you to calm. You can always get out of the confusion, the congestion, but it's a choice that you can make. Neville Goddard talks about the law of assumption. And it teaches us that what we assume to be true in our minds will manifest in our lives. And let's be honest here. Can we be honest for a moment here? Can everybody just say, I'm going to be honest? I'm going to come clean? Now, when you do that, and I ask you the question, I ask you, do you ever make assumptions? Do you ever jump to conclusions? She didn't answer the question. She said, I try not to. The right answer is, I do or I don't. So let's try this again, because Reverend Wilma just don't want to play the game right. And I love her dearly. But now we got to go back into our lesson because of Reverend Wilma. Can we all say, ah? The law of assumption tells us that we're guilty in most cases. All of us are guilty of always assuming. And because we assume, we make premature judgments about people and about situations. What do they say? when you assume I was not looking for that answer. I swear I was not looking for that answer. Steve, I was not looking for that answer. I was thinking when you assume, you need to redirect your thoughts. That's on you. But so many times we assume the worst. Our minds just jump to the worst case scenario. And I'm good at that. I'm very good at that. Thinking and overthinking. Remember we talked about that thinking and overthinking? And so if somebody says, well, let's go to Detroit for a trip. When are we coming back? In a couple hours. Well, hold on. I got to get X, Y, and Z and carry it with us just in case. Is anybody ever guilty of just stocking up on thoughts and scenarios just in case? We live in a mindset where we're always thinking about, I got to prepare and over-prepare just in case. And it's a way that we hesitate. Just in case. What is it? I got to get all my T's crossed and I's dotted. T's crossed, I's dotted. We can't make a move until everything is perfect. And it's in that mindset that we lose our ability to create. Now, here we go. Most people are in this mode of what? You want to move from chaos into calm, but chaos to calm requires something. It requires an understanding of faith. Can we say faith? Faith. Now, I'm not talking about hope, because a lot of times we answer, what do you want to do? You think you can do it? And what's our response? I hope so. I hope so. It's like the seven dwarfs, right? I hope, I hope, I hope. But what is faith? Faith is the assurance that the things I don't necessarily see, they're present. If you get this, next 2 minutes, you'll have the secret to unlocking chaos to calm and never return back to chaos. Can we say faith versus hope? What's the difference, Reverend Glenn? Let me reveal something to you about this. Can we just say, blessed assurance? Now, we want to move into the space, each and every one of us, because we talk about it all the time, how we have the power to create. We co-create with the mastermind, God. But to create that space where we create, we have to enter into this energy called creative creation power. Can we say that together? Creative creation power. This is where we began to understand that there is a difference. There's a separation between faith and hope. Hope is the future, thinking I hope something happens. I don't know if it'll happen. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm hoping for the best. Anybody ever hope for the best? And it's part of our vernacular. I hope for the best. But when we say faith, I'm faithing for the best, it's with certainty that we speak, that we pray, that we meditate. We affirm that I'm certain, I'm sure that this will be manifest now. Can we say now? Can we say this now? Faith is. Hold that thought. Remember how we started out? I said, hold that thought. Hold that thought right there. Faith. Hold that thought. Faith is the thing that drives everything. It's the fuel that begins us in motion towards the energy that we need to have the momentum to move forward with assurance, with certainty. And so we begin to activate the creative forces when we say, I have calmness. And I say, let there be, let it be revealed. That's where you're in that activation stage, the creative power. When I began to say, let there be, let it be revealed. Let's try that. Let it be. Let it be revealed. Now you determine what you want to be revealed in this space. But the whole idea is to remember what I told you last week. Remember what I told you last week? There's a 3-part journey that we're always on. Isn't it? 3 parts that we want to always be engaged in. And I told you, we're always in that middle zone of justification before demonstration. That part, when we think about what we want, the activation, the justification, and the demonstration. The activation part is the desires that we have in our hearts, our minds, our spirit, the things that we want to see, that we want to do, we want to be, we want to have. The activated is thoughts. But then we have to justify in our mind, I am worthy to receive this, to become it, to be elevated to it. Justification. And the justification is that I'm a child of God. And I'm here with everything I need inside of me. All I need to do is move away from the chaos into the calmness. And in the calmness, I see faith, great faith. And then I'm able to demonstrate. Faith undemonstrated, it's not faith. How do I know if you really have faith unless you demonstrate faith? And then there's silence. Because that's where we're at now. We want to be great demonstrators of our faith, our truth. You know how we say walk in spirit, walk in truth? That's what this is all about. Walking in the level of calmness. Because it's in that calmness that we begin to see, Ryan, that all things are working for our good. 2 Timothy 1:7 reminds us something that we already know, we've heard all the time. For God has not given me the spirit of, but of power and love and of sound mind. So if we're going to move from this place of chaos, we have to hit that pause button. We have to take that exit ramp and remind ourselves that it's a now faith, not a hope in the future, but it's a now faith that allows me to move forward with assurance that I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. And because I have breath in my body, I'm not done yet. If I can wake up, I'll get up and I'll elevate up to the next level. That's me. That's mine. So we affirm together. Can you say an affirmation with me? Today, I choose calm over chaos. I rise above the noise of the world, and I align myself with the perfect order of the divine universe. I am guided by clarity, assurance, love, and motivation. Motivated by love and fueled by divine purpose. I am a living demonstration of God's power and presence in me. And so it is. Amen. Renaissance Unity, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But join me in the effort to move away from chaos into calm, where we can be creators of greater and greater things. Thanks for having me this morning. God bless each and every one of you.